Hi kiddos, it's Mrs. Johnson. All right, it's our Monday, April 20th math. Our pages start at 495 all the way to 506. So hopefully if you have your Monday packet, you'll be here. All right, the first two pages just tell your mom and dad about what we're doing for math this week. So we're going to start on 497. You do not need to write this. If you would like to write it, feel free. But here are our answers. All right, we have a pen here, and it tells us which are some ways you can do it. Well, you can either choose to go 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, and actually draw little 1 inch squares. Or you can just use a ruler and measure it. Simple as that. Make sure you're on the inch side. The inch side is the big side. We're using inches and centimeters this week. Make sure you are on the big side. That is inches, okay? This one talks about inches. How long is this marker? That's all it says, okay? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Easy enough. Don't write it if you don't want to, but here are some answers if you want to. Pause the video if I go too fast. Next page says, connect it. Okay, so how long is the marker? The marker was 6 inches long. I got to make that box a little longer, don't I? It was 6 inches long. Hopefully you can read that. And I will scoot it down to the line. There you go. It was 6 inches long. Number 2, look ahead. You can measure length with inches or centimeters. A quarter is about 1 inch across, so that's about 1 inch. Your little finger is about 1 centimeter across. Mrs. Johnson isn't, because I have way bigger fingers than you. A ruler is a tool used to measure length. One side has inches and one side has centimeters. Okay, so I sent a ruler in your pack. You're going to probably need it for this. What units can you measure with this ruler? You can measure inches and centimeters. Okay, hopefully you can read that. Number 3 says, Bruno says it is more useful to measure a shoelace with a ruler than with paper clips. Explain why. Well, why would it be more useful? Probably because what? Paper clips can be different sizes. If I go too fast, which it will go, make sure you just pause it as you're filling in. Inches, oops, that's not good. Inches on rulers are always the same size. Okay, so there's a great thing you can write. Like I say, push pause if you need to be able to look at it better. All right. The next page, do not write this page. This is our web page. Remember our big web page? Mrs. Johnson hardly ever makes you write it. All right, think about what we know about measuring. Fill in each box. Use words, numbers, and pictures. Show as many ideas as you can. What is it? Length. So it's how long something is. What do I know about it? We know we can use a ruler. What are some examples? Length, 3 tiles, 2 inches. Here are some ideas. Number 2 says, what is something you might want to measure the length of and why? The answer could be, I want to measure the length of a bookcase to see if it would fit in my room. You might want to measure the end of your bed if you're getting a new bed to see if it will fit. You might want to measure how tall you are. There's lots of things you can measure, okay? On the next page, I did the ones with the answers, so we're going to move just really slow. Number 3 says, what is the length of this pencil? Boom, 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 boom. What is it? It is 5. 5 what? The length of the pencil is lined up with the first paper clip and the first tile. The right end of the pencil is lined up with the end of the 4th paper clip and the 5th tile. You can write that or don't. I don't care. Solution says the pencil is 4 paper clips long and 5 inches long. See? 4 paper clips, 5 inches. Depends on what you're measuring with. Number 4 says, use a ruler to measure your pencil. Is it the same length or longer or shorter than the pencil in problem 3? So you can get out your ruler, get out your pencil, and say if it's shorter or longer. That's something you can do. It will take you like 5 seconds. Pause the movie and go do it. All right. Here's the next try it. Which piece of yarn is 11 centimeters long? Which piece of yarn is 4 inches long? So you have to measure these two pieces of yarn. There's a blue and there's a yellow. You don't need to do it. You can if you want, but here are our solutions. The first one shows that this one is 4 inches and this one is 11 centimeters. The yellow piece of yarn is 11 centimeters and the blue piece of yarn is 4 inches. So I used the inch tile 4 times. The blue piece of yarn is 4 inches long, or I used the measuring tape and the yellow piece of yarn is 11 centimeters. I would just use my ruler if I were you, but here are some ideas. Don't write them unless you want to. Okay, this one is our information page. So which piece of yarn, blue or yellow, you can move it, blah, 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 see it? And then you can measure it using centimeters. So here's the inches. You can see that the blue one is 4 inches. And here is the centimeters. And you can see that the yellow one is 11 centimeters. Look at the number on the ruler under the other end of the yarn. Okay, we're on to the next page. Connect it. Now, Now you will use the problem from the previous page to help you understand how to measure using rulers. How do you know what units a ruler shows? Well, usually the word inches or centimeters is shown on the ruler. Okay? So you also know that your finger is about a centimeter, and you also know that a quarter is about an inch, so you can measure it that way. You could see which one goes which way. Which color yarn was 4 inches? It was the blue. Which color yarn is 11 centimeters? It was the yellow. How do you use a ruler to measure the length of the yarn in inches and centimeters? Okay, what you have to do is you have to line up the 0 mark. Line up the 0 mark on the ruler, okay, with the left end of the yarn. Then look at the number it goes to. Okay, something like that. You look at the number on the right end of the yarn. That number's the length in inches or centimeters. So it depends on if you're looking at inches or if you're looking at centimeters. Don't write more than that. You just have to know how to measure. You use the left, you line it up with 0, you go up to the whatever number it is. You decide if you're on inches or centimeters, okay? Number 5, look back at your try it strategies by your classmates. We didn't do those. I just showed you some. And your model it's. Which models or strategies do you like best for measuring in inches? I like using the ruler. You choose what you do. I like using a ruler. It's just easy. It's simple. It's easy. It's easy to see. Okay, the next page is page 504. Use what you just learned to solve these problems. Ty made the top ruler. Lynn made the bottom ruler. Circle the ruler that is made correctly. Explain how you know. So, here's the rulers. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, 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 blah. Which one is correct? It's which one? It is the bottom one. I'm going to see if I can draw this. Oh, wow. Look at that. Amazing. Okay, so it's the bottom one. Oops. It's the bottom one. So circle that bad boy. Why is the top one not right? Because why? The numbers aren't perfect. If the numbers aren't perfect, we don't know if it's the correct amount apart. So explain how we know. The numbers, I'll move this in just a second, are not evenly spaced. Oops. Okay, so the numbers are not evenly spaced. Something as simple as that. See how these aren't even. These are even. Okay? Use a ruler. How long is the paintbrush? Go measure it. Pause before you peek at my answer. But how long is it? The paintbrush is 5 inches long. All right, Tony says the crayon is 8 centimeters long. Explain what Tony did wrong, then find the correct length of the crayon. So he says it's 8. Why is it not 8? What did he do wrong? Oh, it's actually what? The crayon is 7 centimeters long. He started at 1 instead of 0. Don't forget, always make sure you start at 0. All right, make sure you pause to write it or don't write it. I don't care, Mrs. Johnson. Just make sure you understand it. Now it's your turn. Go try 505 and 506 and show your moms or your dads or your aunts or whoever you're doing your homework with. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you tomorrow.